My name is Mr. Ephraim Jacob Enyamudo, a teacher, teach physics, teach technical or basic tech. Now, I want to talk about peace education. I introduce peace education in my lesson. This is very serious. Now, because of what we see happen in northern part of Nigeria, the Boko Haram, how young people choose to go rampage, destroy schools, life, and all those ones, how things are not working as they ought to work in the north because of the activities of this Boko Haram. And down here in Niger Delta, I come to discover that for some time now, before now, we had youth restiveness, we had Niger Delta militancy, where children of school age were brought in and they were given guns and all that to kill, and they went from place to terrorizing people. It was a very serious problem. Fighting for the oil they did not see, and the money they did not have. It was very serious because most of those people were people of school age, secondary school age. This is serious. And again, we come to our schools, we discover a lot of odd activities. People marketing people, destroying people, raping people, and all manner of vices. Students fighting on daily basis. Problems everywhere. So I had to single-handedly, though it was a deviation from the curriculum, I had to bring in peace education because I knew of the importance, because the student had got to imbibe the peaceful coexistence in order for learning to actually take place. So I use 20 minutes of my lesson sometimes to teach them. I went from class to class, holding seminars, trying to help the student know, have the culture of peaceful coexistence. Now this is very serious. And I thank God today the school is calm. Rural schools, which we are, everywhere is calm. You hardly see students fight again in school. This is a serious achievement. Now, when we went from school to school to preach against cultism, some people were thinking we went mental, but we knew what we were doing. The essence was to make sure the cult people should come out, to arrest the case, to arrest those there, to stop initiation, and to make sure students don't go into it again. Today, what we see, God activity has gone down drastically, and students are in to the class learning. It is a very serious achievement, I must confess. And here in our state, it is very peaceful because God activity has spread even into primary schools. It was amazing. And if it was allowed unchecked, the whole system would have been turned upside down. That was why I chose single-handedly. No, nobody asked me to do it, to introduce peace education in my lesson. Now, what is peace education? What I have here is peace education can be defined as the process of promoting the knowledge, skills, attitude, values needed to bring about behavioral changes that will have, that will have children, youth, adults, to prevent conflicts and violence, both overt and structural, to resolve conflicts peacefully, and to create the condition for peaceful coexistence. In other words, peace education is a process of acquiring the values, the knowledge, and developing the attitude, skills, behaviors to live in harmony with oneself and with others and with natural environment. This is what I choose to look at peace education to be. To inculcate into these children that they will have to grow with the mentality of being at peace with themselves and with all other and the environment. And I see it as one singular lesson which has helped to recondition the learning climate here. And now students can now stay, you can have weeks in, weeks out without fighting, without bloodshed. And it's a major achievement over here. And I'm so happy. So now, I have said that due to incessant code activity, it is drive me into introducing peace education. I wanting to see peace prevail in the school environment and the communities around. And now today we can see the communities here around about is very peaceful. Now we discover that even some of the students, as small though they were, used to join armed robberies, doing a lot of havoc in town. But today it is brought down completely. You hardly hear cases of armed robbery here. And the community is really at peace. This is a very serious achievement, I must confess. Now, I choose to create in them the sense of mutuality, common faith, that highlights mutual goals, just distribution of benefits from achievers, from achieving the goals, and a common identity. This I do through cooperative learning. 3, I teach them constructive controversy procedure to ensure they know how to make difficult decisions and engage in political discourse. This is very serious. I help the student to know how to resolve cases, conflicts, constructively, and how to engage in profitable political discourse. This was very important. How they can sit down and argue and think and not quarreling and not killing themselves. This was one of those things I impacted in them and is yielding tremendous result today. Now, I teach them how to engage in integrative negotiations and peer mediation to resolve their conflicts with each other constructively. 3, inculcate civic values in them and focus students on long-term common good of society. This is very serious. I inculcated civic values in them. That help students, to think of long-term good value in society and how to negotiate things, to achieve common goal. This is so serious. Now I also integrate students from previously conflicting groups to interact with one another and have opportunity to build positive relationship with each other. This is quite possible since our public education system in my state has compulsory attendance for all children and youth. With this structure in place, I have been able to prevent a conflict in advance and rather educate students or class for a peaceful existence, equality, respect for differences, and social justice. By introducing peace education, I have been able to prevent conflict in advance. And that was what I hope to achieve. To cause these children to grow with the mentality of living peacefully with one another. Because it is not just about coming to learn physics, it is also about learning how to live with one another, how not to breach people's rights, how to know where your right stops, and where another person's right begins. This was very serious. And this has helped the student to grow and grow and grow. And we have the peaceful atmosphere which we experience today. It is very, very important. Above all, I teach them the necessity to be at peace, to care for one another, to love one another, to forgive one another, in case of one offending the other, and to have respect for one another. This is very serious. I told them the basic, moral ethics of loving one another. Because I have come to discover in Nigeria, a lot of people don't love the other persons. That's why we have a lot of issues, evil happening. People don't care about people's life. Now, with this opportunity God gives to me, I choose to help them know how to love one another, how to forgive one another, how to resolve simple cases, how to care for one another, how to respect the right of another person. This is very serious because I know that if we can catch these children young, we have already caught them. And if we allow them, it means in the system, we may not see the change we clamor for. For if Nigeria was changed, for if the world was changed, this must be inculcated into these children, the student. They must be taught how to live peacefully. And if this world must experience the peace we preach everywhere, now we must start to raise a generation that will have in their spirit the culture of peace and corporate existence, coexistence. The culture of respecting one's value, one's right, culture of caring for one another. I have come to discover that this our system, amongst the grown up, people don't care for one another. They're not interested in what happens to another person. But that is what I want to, like get these children deviated from. Because we must have to reorganize them, in the right way in order to have a better society. I choose to always tell my colleagues, if Nigeria must be better, the children must be properly trained. The moral decay that we found in our leaders, the moral decay that we find in our grown-up people must be corrected in our children. Otherwise, we will always see what we have always seen. Like Albert Einstein said, it is madness of the first order, to expect something different while you keep doing the same thing. That's why I choose to go to do a different thing altogether, in order to see how can I achieve something different from what we see the society experiencing today. Because over here, if we must have good leaders, if we must have people that will salvage the condition we are in Nigeria, if we must have people that must solve the problem we are facing right now, then we must learn to grow another generation that have the fear, generation that respect one another, generation that have the love, the real love, not money love, not love on the lips, real love, the heart, love from the heart, that will help to fine-tune this great nation and to fine-tune this world. And like us to know that if Nigeria doesn't have peace, it means the world doesn't have peace. That's the truth. That's why in my own little way, I choose to put in there as much as I can the culture of living in peace with one another. And that is part of what I am doing here. So each time we go out from school to school to teach them to talk against cultism, drug abuse, militancy, HIV, and all of those words, I don't forget to point out the peace, the necessity to be at peace with one another, to learn the culture of being at peace. This is what we need. This is what the world is looking for. Peace is very expensive. very expensive. That's why we must start to grow them in our students. And that's what I do. Because I know that with peace, we can get there and we can get a better society. Thank you so very much. I am so happy. I'm so glad to be a teacher that we want to, the student, the best out of the student, to inculcate the peace and the basic things I think they need to have into them. I am so happy and I'm so blessed to do that. No matter what it cost me, I don't care. I can't compare the financial cost or the time I spent doing this to what would have happened in the world if peace is not there. So I choose to sacrifice whatever it is comes my way to make sure these students are better trained. I am so happy and I'm grateful for what God is doing. For the result we keep seeing really shows that we can change the society, we can change the world. We can change the world by preaching the right message, by preaching peace, especially to these young children. Let them grow with it, and the world will have the peace we are crying for. Thank you so very much. My name is Ephraim, like I said, a teacher, physics teacher. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.